Our speaker today has been a student and a practitioner and a teacher of the Enneagram for over 25 years. Has been on the board for the International Enneagram Association of Southern California, and he's just a regular guy, and that's how we know him here. But actually, deep within there, he's got some pearls, and he's going to share them today. Richard Long, come on up, buddy.
Thank you. Put this down here. And Brian's right. It is fun to be up here to look at you. Just don't bring up in conversation that you've presented in churches before, because you'll be up here. You know, it's the unity way. You know, I think we ought to do this. Good, you're in charge. Yeah, I know that now. So, good morning. And thank you, Brian. Thank you. It is good to be back. And it's always good to actually see this and see everybody. Plus, oh yeah, that way, the online folks. So my talk today is on the instinctual subtypes of the Enneagram. Now that's a mouthful, but let me assure you it is very simple and is very important. My first two Enneagram talks covered how our personality is defined by what we pay attention to, and how valuable it is to know that everyone pays attention to different things. My second talk was the wisdom of the three centers: the head center, the heart center, and the gut center. And these three centers of intelligence are the foundation of the Enneagram 9 types. And today, I would like to explore three ways we prefer to survive, to cope, and therefore act in the world. Three concerns and strategies that run into the background and dictates of much we do. You do not need to know anything about the Enneagram to use these instincts. So don't worry that you need to know about that. So I want to rest assured. If you knew about the Enneagram, we could go into a whole other area, but we won't do this. These instinctual subtypes are hidden and quite unconscious. Something Brian talked about in his meditation talk of how much our behavior is unconscious. Some say 98% of what we do is unconscious. In other words, we're not aware of what we're really doing. We're on, in Gurdjieff's word, we're on autopilot. We're just kind of going through the day. And part of our instincts is driven by this, and you'll see that. So my definition of spiritual awakening, and really awakening in general, is to bring what is unconscious, conscious, to hold up to light for us to see and to be aware of the differences we have in other people, differences when we apply the spiritual tools of compassion, understanding, and allowing, make life understandable and therefore easier. So the age-old question of who am I can be partially answered by the Enneagram model of what we pay attention to. Are we the head, heart, or gut center? However, another strong driver of who we are lies in another age-old question, is how am I going to survive in this world? And right now we're kind of dealing with this, well, really kind of a lot. What needs do I have that are often unconscious, that are often not negotiable? Now, let me repeat that again. Some of these needs are not negotiable. They are automatic. We need them, and that they are driving our life. So, what are these three instinctual types that are driving our life? So, slide. There we go. This I paid thousands of dollars for. This is Disney animation at its best. When we were in Southern California, I hired the best, and they came up with stick figures. So anyway, It's a way I hope that you represents for you a simple way of looking at that. So the first one is, I will survive by being alone. I will take care of myself. It's called the self-preservation type. I can do this alone. I want to do this by myself, and I'll do this. The second one is there's a group of stick figures, and it's social. I will survive best in a group. I feel that there's strength in a group. I'll be part of a group, and I will survive better that way. And the third one is the two pairs. It's called sexual or one-on-one. I will survive with somebody. I need somebody to survive, and the two of us will carry on. So first, let's look at self-preservation. I prefer to survive alone. I can take care of myself. I can take care of my essentials like no one else can. I am concerned with controlling my environment, the resources to assure my comfort and survival. I can do this best by relying on me. For example, if I'm a self-pressed person and I'm going to the beach, what do you think we do? You bet I'm ready for everything. I got my water, I got my protein bars, I got sunglasses, I got a hat, I got 2 or 3 layers of clothing. You never know what it's going to be like on the beach. So let's bring the sweater, the wind jacket, the t-shirt, who knows, but you need all that, right? 3 layers of shoes. Could be sandal day, could be tennis shoe day, could be boots day. That damn tide just gets in the way of everything you want to do. So you never know. I have in my trunk a chair, along with a first aid kit, blankets, towel to wipe off when I get home and before I get in the car. And I have charging cables for my phone and my car, of course. So on my walk, I make eye contact with people who look safe, say hi to people that I know, but keep going because I need that 10,000 steps. So that's the self-pres. And then the second, the social. That's okay. So it's the group of people. I will survive with others in a community as a group. 2 heads are better than 1, and in fact, a whole many are much better to have a lot of heads. We are all in this together. I think Brian even mentioned that maybe today. There is power in numbers, in community, in a group. I am safer. For example, I'm a social. I'm going to the beach. Well, who am I going to invite? I need people to go with and everything. Well, maybe if I get enough people, I'll call up, we'll do a bonfire. We got to bring chairs to hang out. Maybe join people that I know. Or let's go to the pier. Let's catch some music. Let's see Richard busking. Did you know he dresses up in that English garb and busks out on the pier? But you're the only one with the hat that says $20 bills only.
Just on the weekends.
Just on the weekends. The best time. And then you'll see Brian and Pierre. Now, to me, Pierre is a definition of a social. So what does Pierre do? He jumps around. The people who know Pierre, he jumps around and says hello to everybody, but nobody in particular. And we won't talk to Brian. So I am friendly to almost everyone. Have people that I recognize, I say hello. I'm not really one to get into a deep conversation because I might miss something. Remind you of anyone? So the third, I forgot about that. The third, the one-on-one, is I will survive with a partner, with a pair. It's you and me, babe. We'll do this. We're looking for a strong connection. With a partner, I will survive. I will make it through life as long as I have you. Lots of 60s songs were written about that, right? If I'm one-on-one and I'm going to the beach, it can happen at any time. So let's assume we're at church. And there's someone you just kind of make a connection to, and you just say, let's blow this church thing. I'm not dressed for the beach, you're not dressed for the beach, but it doesn't matter, we're just going. So let's go to Cambria. Let's see some lights. Let's go to a little restaurant, have a nice little intimate table. Let's try something new and exciting. And when I say, how are you? I mean, how are you? How are you?
I'm wonderful.
Oh, good. I feel better. I won't say. Remind you of anyone? Now, I want to make something really clear right now. We are not just one instinct. So I think you are all kind of seeing yourself in everyone, which is true. But of the three, we prioritize and we prefer one strategy over the other. And the last one we have, forget about that. The one that we least prefer can be a blind spot for us. It can be, we don't understand it in ourselves and we don't understand it in others. And it can be a source of problems. So let's dig a little deeper. So the self-pres, by yourself, it is important to be independent, create strong boundaries, strive to be financially secure and stable, have good self-care, in tune with your body, some going as far as to be hypervigilant to their health, hypervigilant about the environment, usually risk adverse, need to take care of business. In other words, they are preoccupied with getting and maintaining a physical safety and comfort and financial security. I call them nesters, looking for a safe place. We all have been there at a time in our life where we had to look out for ourselves. After a divorce, after being fired, we are forced to seek a new independent way to assure safety and security. Again, we all have some of this. We just prefer this. If you are a social, let me get some water here. You need more water than others. If you are a social, believe you will survive better with a community, with others, with affiliations. A sense that I am stronger and safer in a group of like-minded souls. There's power in numbers. Good ability to read others. Comfortable and prefer interacting with others for a common purpose. I can adjust to the needs of a group. I strive for a win-win-win situation. Does anybody know what a win-win-win situation is? That's like big wins. Well, there's the first win is I win. Second win is you win. So that's a win-win. Third one is everyone wins. So that group kind of consciousness is how do we all win with this? So it's this win-win-win situation. I call them the touching base with others type. This can be a church, a civic organization, political involvement, a group of friends for coffee, a CEO of a company. This involves good political awareness and understanding of group dynamics. It does not mean that they are the leaders of the group. If you're a social, it does not mean you have to run it and be part of it. Some people confuse that. You just want to be part of it. You have the ability to get along, to go along. And they usually play well with others. Just belonging to a church is a good example of a social activity. Right now, when I come on Sundays, I'm kind of reminded that we are stronger as a group. So it's a weekly reminder. You go home and you're alone. And then you go to the church and say, oh yeah, there's this group of people. You get that energy that socials really can feed after. on. So full disclosure, I'm a social. So the church, I am honored and very happy to host the men's group at our house, the OOP group, a small little golf group. I participate in the book study classes online, which I really like. Aging gracefully groups with Chris and doing with that, and the power of 8. So part of my social involvement is kind of like Chris is the backbone of the church, but not really out there. But he's does the social part. If you are a sexual, the old PowerPoint days, right? If you are a sexual one-on-one, sexual in the sense that you are preoccupied with a connection, with this attraction of getting the juice from something or someone. It's the juice that they need. It can be a sport, it can be a person, it can be a hobby, it can be a job. Some people are just so turned on by their job. I call them the mergers. We want to have this intense relationship with something or someone. Right now, unfortunately, I think we're seeing this more and more with teens and things with video games, and so they're so intensely involved with that. They're so deep in that. You ask them, and it's that merging with that. Again, that strength can be a weakness too. So can be high risk taking to feel the juice. I'm sure we have all felt the intense attraction of someone or something. And for a non-one-on-one, non-sexual type, this usually dissipates pretty quickly. But a true sexual type, they're looking for this all the time and sees a way of merging with others. So here are some spiritual takeaways from waking up and understanding these survival instincts. The first takeaway is knowing that our instinctual subtype is usually not negotiable. It is a subconscious need. This can lead to a lot of conflicts in relationships. One partner may enjoy the need to pursue social groups, interaction, busy social life. The other may be uncomfortable with groups and prefer to stay home, read a book, balance the checkbook. That can lead to problems. One person may go looking for that intense relationship, going really deep into hobbies, projects, or risky adventures, and others don't understand it or want to be part of it. Now that you understand how strong the needs are, you can see how others' needs are different and not to label them as wrong. For many, the instinctual needs is non-negotiable, and to respect the need is very important. A good example is when I started teaching years ago, Donna, I invited Donna, my wife Donna, pretty much everybody knows that, to be my facilitator, to be the person who takes the money and, takes the roster and does all the back end stuff. Because as a presenter, sometimes it's hard to wear those hats and do all that. And so my thing, of course she wants to do that. Right? She'll meet the people that I meet. It becomes a community after a while. That's cool. So we'll just, and then, so about the third year, I finally said, Donna, you don't really want to do this, do you? And she goes, no, I have stuff to do at home. I'd rather be at home. I'd rather be doing. And yes, was I disappointed? Yes, I was going, well, she's not supporting me or whatever, all that stuff. But then I realized if I really push this, her self-pres would just, back up more because it wasn't really, she negotiated as much as she could by helping me out. So then by getting a volunteer as a facilitator, it would work out. And so I did that, and that of course works. But that was one example of many, if you're in a relationship, of when you run into these interests, which are different. And you have to respect and allow for those differences of what people need you're with. Our second takeaway in the realization that our least preferred instinct can create a real blind spot in our life and in our relationships. Also, this is the area of your life that is least developed, and we tend to procrastinate about. In fact, by doing something in the life you least prefer, something in the area of life you least prefer, gives a sense of satisfaction and accomplishment. If you are in low self-pres, your health, your financial security may not be a big concern. Your neglected needs of stability can lead to problems. And everyone needs some self-care, develop skills to earn a living, creating a home base for family, friends, and even comfort. If you are low in these areas, what can you do soon to end this procrastination? And that's where some of the other types have to fulfill. They have to find a partner to balance the checkbook. They have to find a group that they feel secure in and safe in to do something that's self-pres. Do you see what I mean? You kind of, first you have to take this, your predominant area of concern of how am I going to survive. Until that's satisfied, you may let these other things go. And so, what do you need? Is there anyone here that needs to do your taxes, clean your windows, clean the garage, go to the doctor? Anybody need to do it? Yeah, to take care of ourselves. So if you are low in social, many opportunities may pass you by. People connections, promotions, lack of political, and by political awareness, I mean the small p. By knowing the group dynamics, knowing the power structure of environments, of groups, is called political awareness. And that some people really lack. They just don't know what the dynamics are. And so they can lead to an alienation and feeling left out. The politics of cliques and things like that. You know, if some people really know that kind of naturally. So anyone here lost in society, lost in this youth-oriented high-tech culture, who don't fit into any group, even lost as to the dynamics of this church, hard to talk to people, read people incorrectly, don't join groups because you had a bad experience or two. When is the last time you tried to join a group? Go out to an event, find like-minded people. And this could only be for coffee or cards. It doesn't have to be a big deal, but it can be just a group that you feel supported and you can work with. So if you are low in sexual or one-on-one, life may not be too exciting, may not be fun. Have a lack of deep interest, intense, deep people or events may be frightening. Not comfortable letting go and letting maybe even God. Letting go and letting God is that trust and just the energy of the time. Surrender to play, to the unknown. You may be missing some wonderful parts of your life. Does anyone here feel too confined, too regimented? When is the last time you did something spontaneous? So lastly, now that you know your blinds, try risking or doing something you don't really prefer. You may be surprised by how it can free up energy. The energy of our blind spot, of the things we don't want to do, takes up a lot of our energy that we don't know about. And we can release that by just trying it out. And so how can you open up areas of life you may actually really enjoy? So lastly, do not judge when others need to live from an instinct that is different than yours, and to realize in their mind it is not negotiable, and they are behaving out of instincts and what they need. But now you know what's driving your behaviors can be negotiable for you. And you can understand and allow others. You don't have to take what people do so personally. It's not really personally. They're living out what they need to do. So have a joy-filled holiday season. Keep in mind that others' instinctual needs may not be the same as yours, but it doesn't have to ruin your joy. So I'm sure in this holiday season, soon you will be tested. Ho, ho, ho. Thank you for your kind attention.